seduction, sex, lifestyle. For the true player at heart, Global SLR presents The Real Kings of Pickup. Vince Hollywood Kelvin and Arash motherfucking Dibazar. Be the best and fuck the rest.
This is Vince Kelvin. You're listening to The Real Kings of Pickup podcast here with my spiritual brother, the Diamond Mine, Arash motherfucking Dibazar, and we are going to answer your questions. If you're listening to the podcast afterwards, always remember when you call live, you can ask questions. Our live callers, thank you for joining. Start to think about the questions you want to ask. And in the meantime, you know the question I'm going to ask. My brother, how are you? What new breakthroughs you've had during the past couple hours?
Man, you named it, hours, because I was on a Scott session with a student, and I got a text of a beautiful woman who said she wanted to come hang out. She's actually in the bathroom. She'll come right back. Came hang out. As she was coming, there was a woman that I've been talking to for two months. I met her 2 months ago, and I've been doing this so properly. As I told everybody, this woman is quality, and I'm going to do this right. And for 2 months, I've been trying to get this woman to come out. This happens to be today when this other woman's here. She texts me and says, "Hey, where are you? I'm here with my friend. If you'd like to have a drink, come hang out with us." So I'm looking, going, oh my God, I got the podcast at 7. It's 4:45. Got this girl here. So I told her, we're going to go meet my friends. So we went. I didn't have my jewelry on me, which I normally do. And I think it's important that we present yourself. So I rushed over to the mall, grabbed a few pieces of jewelry, showed up to this restaurant. You guys will see the video, probably in 2 hours or so right after I get off this. I got to do a few things. But long story short, as we're there, 3 beautiful, beautiful women, and then the waitress is somebody that I've been talking to for a while. I'm trying to, do what I need to do with that. So she's there. Next thing you know, I'm having an interaction with 4 of the prettiest girls that walk this land. And, I see a few guys that I know over there, and, they're coming up to me, and one guy is like, my God, like, what are you doing? I said, dude, right? I mean, you can't deny it. Look around you. Look at this thing. And so a lot of just unbelievable things that are taking place. Meanwhile, I have a 4th girlfriend that everybody will meet probably by Wednesday night, latest Sunday. And we'll be in LA, and we'll all be there, and Global SLR is coming up, and on and on and on. I can keep going, but I'm just gets boring hearing how great I am sometimes. What's going on with you, brother?
The practice of uncluttered action, complete freedom, which I'm refining in all different areas and contexts to bring it to pick up. So I'm moving forward, I'm pressing forward, and I go through it all as if it's a meditation, and I accomplish so much. Suddenly it's 3 a.m., and I go, let's go to the gym, and I'm having a phenomenal workout. And then it's 5 a.m., and I go, I could use a little nap. And there's no resistance around. There's no friction and so on. And that is also how I go about my interactions. No pollution, no decision. Pick up, I've always said it, is foot first. Most guys think that it's figure it all out first and then take a step. And really, I want to break free for everybody to be able to function like animals in the wilderness. Brother, you so often refer to nature, which has become a great metaphor inspired by you, for me as well. So I'm an animal, and I want to mate like an animal without the pollution of the mind and bring that to the guys. So girls, it's a waiting list currently because the task at hand is big, so they're simmering and going a little crazy and revealing themselves in different ways. And then new ones very fast. The impulse is so conditioned that I promised myself the other day, I was like going to the store, we were filming, and I said, okay, you only have 7 minutes. Do not talk to a girl. Promise myself, don't talk to a girl. What do? I turn around and talk to a girl. So I love that. Gentlemen, we're ready to answer your questions. We're very thrilled and psyched with all that's happening. the GSLR, of course. Prior to that, Pickup Academy. It's in less than a week. A week from now, we'll be live from Pickup Academy, 7-day training. And also, there's that special event. We'll announce it in a moment. But meanwhile, first question of the evening. Gentlemen, we're ready for you guys.
Vince, it's Cosa Nostra from San Jose.
Awesome.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the importance of, I know you don't use these terms, so forgive me if I'm misspeaking, but like building momentum or ramping up during pickup, like starting with small toss-away comments and then just building up and up as time goes on?
We'll continue with the order of Arash going first.
I was yelling at my dog, okay? So sorry about that. And I heard building momentum, then I missed the second part. Talk about building momentum and what else? Shadow.
Building momentum when you're out, sort of social momentum, maybe starting the night with smaller, like shorter comments to people, but as the night goes on, just getting just larger and larger with energy levels, as opposed to doing sniper, like just being quiet, and then all of a sudden you just turn it on right away. You know, what's...
yeah, I don't know. I mean, really, it doesn't make sense what you're saying to me, to be honest with you. Like, it's not relevant to getting girls, whether you sniper or build momentum or do sign language. It really has nothing to do with it. So I don't know how to answer that because, well, I know how to answer that. So it has nothing to do with getting women. But I'll pass it on to Vince.
I think the answer is very, very simple. Those are modes of operation. You, after a while, go a little bit beyond the distinction. We need to start somewhere. If somebody learns a new language, we start with organizing the words, but then once you know the language, you can sing, you can do poetry, you can rap, and you no longer think about all the structure, or if you write, you no longer analyze each sentence. For you at your level, what's important is to stay supportive to yourself no matter what. Okay? And then it will help you access the mode that's best at this time. So staying supportive no matter what. If suddenly you're out there in the world and you notice that you're not really flowing, build momentum. Little comments here and there, and build from there. Start to spark a match, put it on paper, paper catches on fire, little pieces of wood, and then you're on fire. Okay? If you're already like really feeling it, no need to do that. And if you didn't expect it and there's one unique opportunity, go sniper. Okay? So work for yourself, work with yourself, and that is easy to assess at any given time. Okay, am I making it harder or easier for myself? And then more and more, gentlemen, also know that with every and any activity, in music, first you learn the scales, and then after that you learn chords, and then you learn a few songs, and after that you jam with it all. Now, with pickup, there's always that element of the concern that it may not go the way we want to go, so constantly grow with that and more become a little bit more renegade and know that the micromanagement of wanting to do it perfectly just at the right time in the right way is non-pickup. It's a bad habit, and we can understand it for newbies, but the further you go, the more you guys should also get acquainted with the mindset that we share and start to really go and think in those terms, to no longer only and always go, okay, should I do this or should I do that? You know, just go, hey, do. No, that's my answer. Do at this point. If you go, should I do this? Should I do that? Do. And momentum, the secret for it is you got to top it. That's how you build momentum. Okay? If you do less, you're losing your momentum. If you do the same, you're going to eventually use your momentum. So you got to top it. And to top it, you can increase the frequency, talk more often, the length, talk longer, the delivery, boost it, the escalation, and continuously be daring. I love to go back to the place of what a newbie will feel. See, last week I had some little cosmetic stuff. They gave me a little mask like Michael Jackson. I said, you know what? Fuck it. today, just for a stretch, I'm going to do pickup with that thing on my face. At first, I wasn't so comfortable doing it, but I wanted to once again demonstrate to myself that you can pass through that. So, thank you, Robert. Keep it up. Next question, gentlemen.
Hey, guys.
Go ahead with your question.
And I had a question. Yeah, I had a question about when she's sucking your dick, how do you make it even more pleasurable for her? Like, how do you almost like maybe even get her to come while she's, sucking you off? I don't know if that's super pickup related or inappropriate, but that was what was on my mind. Thanks.
It can be done through language. I've done it, and I like to do it, but it doesn't happen during that. It happens prior to that. That means that prior to that activity taking place, you must already have tested that she's responsive to your words and commands. And if she is, then there's really there's no limit. What you have to realize is that if you watch a hypnotist at work who's a very high-level hypnotist with a hypnotized subject, what the hypnotist says becomes a hypnotease reality. So this is not hypnosis, but it follows some of the same rules and principles. So it doesn't happen during that time. If it's during that time you're trying to make her do that, it's too late. Start earlier, test your work, then when that time comes, it's just a matter of another suggestion, is what I have to say.
Now, did I hear it well? You said when she's sucking your cock, or am I hallucinating that, my dirty mind? It got cut off for just a second. I heard correctly. Okay, yeah. So 3 simple key points. It's important to learn also how to receive. To be more efficient afterwards, there's probably, I'm guessing, still residues of constantly feeling like you have to give to her. And I think that you bring in one element is, okay, that's your turn. You're receiving. She's sucking your cock. And if she starts to feel a frequency that you feel obligated to also enhance her pleasure, it will be counterproductive. So know also when it's time you lay back and you receive, and very often they will do that themselves. Second thing, one great topic to bring about before is the idea, which I start by making them laugh. I always say, did you know that only if you deep throat properly, there's actually a G spot at the bottom of your throat? Very few women know that. There's a pleasure spot. It's even stronger sometimes than your vagina, your clit, and all of that. And they go, you're so funny. I go, I'm serious. And then I bring it to a place where they're not sure if I'm serious or not. And then I intensify that. I go, you're going to have to try it. Your whole little mouth melting in pleasure up to a point where you are no longer going to think, oh, let me be good to him. Let me suck his cock and please him with my lips. It'd be the opposite. It'd be my cock pleasing your mouth and your mouth melting into pleasure. Not only because all of the thoughts that you are having when you think, ooh, I'm being naughty. Here I am. I have his cock in my mouth, and the feeling of it and the thoughts of it going back and forth like the in and out of my cock inside. You get the idea. Okay? So you reinforce that, and then reward, don't be like, oh my God, you're so good. But you go, the way you do it. And I think I had heard that from Arash, maybe on a podcast last year. To go like, oh, you're good at this. You're good at this. And they go like, really? Am I correct, brother, that you had voiced that on a podcast last year?
Yeah, I think that anytime a woman does anything good, you should reward her by telling her she's good at it. Especially if it has nothing to do with her looks. That's just a regular activity of mine. If she does something good, tell her it's good. That's what I do. And that's just another thing she does good.
That kind of model
you're good at sucking dick.
No, was brilliant. Very good. So, thank you, Chris. Awesome question. Thanks for stepping up. Who is next with the question? 14 colors on the line. Millions of little vaginas and mouth and tongues and lips out there. Seize the opportunity. Ask your questions, gentlemen.
Hey, Vincent Arash, it's Mitch. All right. Recently I came into a situation. I'm welcoming money quickly to be able to come to LA. And I'm waking up the past couple of days. I've been waking up feeling very nervous and just jittery about the whole situation. Now, what I've been doing is I've been focusing on the positive, reminding myself that good things are coming, reminding myself that I'm okay today. I have a roof over my head. I have money to pay my rent, basic expenses. I can tap into retirement. It's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll pay myself back quickly. I've been taking action, looking for work like crazy, meeting with people, creating a multitude of opportunities, and I'm continuing along that path. What else can I do to keep myself in a productive mindset, stay in action, and really create as much as possible, create results as much as possible and as quickly as possible? And if either one of you have a product that you want to refer me to with specific actions, please do, that I need to look at or look at again.
In the beginning, you said there is money coming in or there's not money coming in. I got it right after that. I heard everything.
I'm welcoming money coming in. So right now, my bank account is lower than I want it to be, and so I'm welcoming more money. I'm welcoming an abundance of money so I can afford to make the trip out to LA and have an amazing time.
Okay, so let's replace the word welcoming. Are you working longer and harder than before?
Yes.
Is that resulting in more money or no?
Not yet. Not yet. No.
And you said not yet. It assumes that it's going to be soon? Is there like something waiting to pop? Or what do you mean not yet?
Combination of both, Arash. Because, like for example, I met with somebody for 2 hours, and there are specific action items that I need to take. So this is something over the past couple of weeks, I've been working long hours, but it hasn't resulted in anything, but it's expected to. And I'm creating that it will.
Okay, so by working more, are you having more opportunities to make money, or about the same or less? More.
I'm having more opportunities, you bet.
Okay, good. So those are, I just look, when it comes to money, I've figured out some things here. And money does not fuck around. Money does not fuck around. Women don't fuck around. Money doesn't fuck around. And what I mean by that is, it has its own rules. And it has very little to do with wishful thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play that game. I don't play that game at all. I play the game of, I do affirmations all the time, but I work very, very, very hard. And I promote the shit out of myself all the time and try to come out with more ways to do that. I found no other way to make money besides doing what I do. So my formula for money is really simple. Figure out what it is you're doing right now. Figure out how you can increase it. Figure out how you could get it to more people. How do you expand your communication lines? What I mean by that is, if today there was 15 people who heard about you, how could there be tomorrow 10 more people? And now you have 25. And every single day, those lines should somehow increase. And if that's the case, then over time, there should be more money coming in because more people know about you, which means there's more potential for them to get your product. Outside of that, you promote your product. You know, like Genesis Be Reborn is out right now, and, you know, there's some hours left, about 2.5 hours or something. And I eagerly await to see how the stats are. I don't know how it's going to be. I have kind of an idea of the sales that are coming in, but when I look at it, you know, I think that the promotion could have been way better. And I'm not going to blame God or anybody else. I'm just going to say, okay, so the next one, which is called Supernatural, will actually be much, much, much better release. I'm going to predict right now for everybody that my next product called Supernatural, August 2nd, will have more sales than Genesis. I have no idea how many Genesis sold, but whatever it did, Supernatural will have more. Why? Because I'm going to start much earlier and increase the promotion on the subject way more. So that's my only advice with money. And then in regards to being nervous and all that, sometimes nervousness is good, sometimes it's not. Nervousness is good when it aligns with reality. Like if you're walking over a ledge and you don't have any kind of safety net and you're 4,000 feet up in the air and you start to close your eyes just to see If you could do it and you get nervous, that's a good time to be nervous. You shouldn't be doing that dumb thing. But if you're, sitting in your room and nothing's happening, so then you get nervous, then there's a million other things that are going on that really are not in that situation, so don't worry about it. So I don't consider nervousness or anger or any of these emotions, I don't try to get rid of them. What I do is I look at them and I see how do they align with my reality of what's going on. Okay? What? So, okay, so that's what I'm talking about.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you.
Mitchell, you're very, very, very genuine, and I love that. You know that. Now what's interesting is, I work a lot with language and as a performer, ear training, and I hear Arash talk, and there's a vibrancy at the core. It's like solid. I hear you talk, and it reminds me of something that Tony Robbins used to make an entire stadium laugh with, one of his classics. He would say, parents come to me, I don't understand my kids. Not motivated if you talk to them like that. So it's all tentative, Yes, you do want that money to come, but at the same time you go, I'm welcoming money, and do you guys have any ways to make sure that I stay on track? Right there, that's your clue. You still contemplate the option that you may not stay on track. Self-reliance is the knowingness you can rely on something deeper in you that is stronger than that concern. You have already won the sperm race, everybody. So quit doubting yourself and reach for that life within, that force that overrules every day. For as long as you get up and you're alive and you function, something greater is winning within, no matter the excuses and the concern and so on. So you got to reach within. And how do you know you've reached within? Well, when you start to hear and feel something stronger than what would presuppose you could not. Okay? And then, yes, absolutely. Affirmations without action is a pure delusion. Action without affirmation may lead to frustrations because you are fueling limitations while you take action. So a blend of both. And I love the question Arash asked you, because it's true. You need more channels and you need to take them further, and you need to also know. And finally, I would say you also release a little bit, because it comes in nonlinear ways for those who are a little bit more open. If you nurture too much fear, too much worry, you miss out. It's like the guy who was supposed to meet the girl, and he was excited, but he was all concerned she may not show up, and then he shows up someplace to meet her, and she's not there. And now he's not seeing anybody around because he goes in his head, and he feels defeated, and there's 3 girls standing right there. He can just turn around and go, what do you do with people who don't show up? And boom, he opened 3 new. There's flow around. And then get resourceful, gentlemen. I remember when I graduated from music school, my parents gave me a gift. It was a reasonable yet fairly small gift. And I decided I was going to go to Memphis, Tennessee. I was so young, I wasn't managing my money well. By the time the trip came, all I could afford was my Greyhound bus to Memphis, Tennessee. I went. That's when I betted a girl as my only option to sleep somewhere versus sleeping at the Mission. I also slept at the Mission that one night. Something within me. So when I was attending the first few Tony Robbins seminars, I jumped in my car. I barely made it with my car. I slept in my car. I could hear him talk about that. And I don't do anything stupid, but at the same time, stay resourceful and commit with everything you got, but you are not bound to it. In the worst case, you will have hustle. So it's all good. More soul, heart, guts, and balls. And continue. Program and so on. Are always other programs. At the same time, do more with what you got. Okay? Text me in private, because you and I had a commitment about something you were doing, and then we shifted how we were doing it, and then you missing in action on it. So right there, if you don't already show up for what's there, how are you going to show up for what's not there yet? So we're ready for the next question. Little sense of urgency, gentlemen. We're going about 10 more minutes, so we can probably fit 1 to 2 questions. Quick announcement, 4th of July, tomorrow, we're doing a special. I will tell you about it afterwards because people on the recording will have missed out. On the recording, I will say, gentlemen, by the time you hear this, the GSLR will be closer and closer, and you can find it at gslrconvention.com, the largest gathering of entrepreneurs and social scientists on the planet. The best way is you go to that site, if you haven't heard of it, or if you did, and you watch the video. Watch the video, okay? In the meantime, what's the next question?
All right, it's Mitch again. And Vince, I just did text you. Obviously, I missed something. I want to apologize. And if you could explain to me what I missed outside of this, that would be wonderful. Anyway, my second question. Friday night, I went to a friend's birthday party. I started speaking to this girl, and I immediately noticed her energy was just really, it's hard to put in words, but her energy was just very off-putting. She was very pleasant, but she just occurred as very guarded and very off-putting, like, oh, don't talk to me. She was very polite and very much to herself. The question is, when I meet girls like that, do I want to break off the interaction and just move on to the next one? Do I want to continue to attempt to reach out and talk to them and practice number closing them, or do I want to do something else?
Well, when the question arises, do I want to? It's called a value-based question. I learned this a long time ago in my life. Value-based questions cannot be answered by another human being because that's your value. You know if you want to or if you don't want to. One's value would be, I'd like to stay there and practice because I value putting myself in an uncomfortable situation because I think this is how I grow. Another individual would have value of, my time is too valuable to spend on this whore. I'm going to go talk to another woman because I'm here to have a good time. Many people and coaches, in quotes, will answer value-based questions because they feel good doing that. I don't answer value-based questions. The only person that can make a judgment call on your life, only you should do or shouldn't do, is you. Now, me, myself, I don't like to be in a place that I feel I'm encroaching on people. So if I'm having a conversation with a woman, and it seems like it's not going well because she is, her energy's off or whatever, I leave. I remove myself. I don't like being a social violation. Being a social violation has never gotten me a woman. Ever. Or friends, or money, or anything for that matter that I value. So, being a social scientist, I value people who are not social violations to the environment they're in. So I myself normally would leave. Now, I put up a video a couple of days ago of me just handling some woman in the street, and everybody loved it. There's also that side of it. But at that moment, I was no longer trying to get something from her. It was no longer like, now I need to convince this fucking idiot to come and hang out with me. That was just me now schooling her and showing her that it's not okay to act like that around me. It has nothing to do with me wanting something from her. So if I feel like I want something from her, that's a different vibe. And I'm saying that because another way would be, why didn't I just fucking leave and just leave her alone? Because at that moment, it was no longer about that. It was about, this woman is being disrespectful and rude, and I know I can handle her. And not only for her, I can handle her for the whole world. Everybody could benefit. So value-based questions, I think, are only answered by an individual themselves, since we all have free will, we can decide for ourselves. But outside of that, if your time is valuable and you want to go hang out, then that's what you probably do. Or if you're there to really push yourself and see what you can learn from a really uncomfortable situation, then that's that. Okay, but those are two separate things. That's my answer.
The context was, number one, to grow, and number two, everybody else there I was friends with, and I wanted to be pleasant and calibrated in the social situation. But I certainly don't want to show weakness to that whore, which, that's the other important thing. that I'm not going to allow her negative energy to have an impact on me. But also, as Arash, as you said, yeah, I do want to grow from the situation. I do all these interactions. I want to grow.
So, gentlemen, my signal is a little bit on and off. So, if needed, somebody just tells me, Vince, we cannot hear you, okay? I'm assuming you're hearing me well right now. Mitchell, there was something that shifted. The answer might be simpler than you know it. You are making a thorough assessment first of the girl and her responses, and that's a tendency that a lot of guys have. Now, you want to know where people fit in. You want to understand their psychology of other human beings. But you cannot start with that and make that more relevant than you first. Okay? So the difference for me, if I enter a situation like that one, I'm aware of, okay, that person is this, that person is that. I don't overly decide neither, because it takes too much energy and time, and I can operate. I don't need to know their whole life story to operate. And yet the focus is on me. So I don't even need to go, what do I want, or should I stay or should I go? Because I'm fully aware of what's going on with myself and what I want. So the rebalancing is going to be, once again, it's okay to be sophisticated enough to be aware of the needs of other people. It's only okay for as long as they reciprocate. Otherwise, they will take it as weakness, take advantage of you. They will ignore it, and you'll get frustrated because you're going out of your way and they are not. Or they'll be complete crooks, and you'll be their next to like just unleash on you, and so on. Okay, women, they always look for the weak guy, so every frustration they've had with other guys in their own life, take it on the weak guy. He's not going to put me back in place. So that excess concern, you must first be more concerned about you. The mask goes on you first, okay? And first place of calibration is you. How you doing, man? What do you want? What can I do for you tonight? That's how you talk to yourself, okay? So that's the rebalancing. And make sure that you can only be aware of other people and their needs, supposes that you are more aware of your own needs. And that's how you shift from a pleaser to a leader. And then you also have to know that if you want to do pickup more freely, stop trying to do it in those social circles where there's restriction. Because you're going to be a violation no matter what. You're going to be a violation towards others, or then you're going to be a violation to yourself because you're overly pleasing when elsewhere you could have voiced something stronger. And then never cave in, stay strong. If you want to move on, you go, well, yeah, we'll chat again. And that's what's more now. So, thing I'm thinking, with your prior question, and that applies to pickup first, I'm assuming that a lot of your communication in terms of acquiring the money is done verbally. It's not only through emails and so on. There may be that aspect, but it is done verbally, correct?
Yeah, yes, that is correct, Vince.
Yes, that is correct. So when I was listening to your question, so take this as encouragement. And yet, when I was hearing you talk about your question, you have bursts of strength when you talk, and I will give you a shortcut for you. But the first thing people hear is your voice. And honestly, I was thinking to myself, okay, he comes in with something that I need, and I have choice, I can go elsewhere. And I was pretending I didn't know you, so I wouldn't go, oh yeah, let's get it from Mitchell because he's my buddy. But just hearing your voice, I don't think I would buy, because you don't sound convinced. You are more of a leader and an entrepreneur, and all you guys are becoming that, so your mindset has to shift fast, okay? It's when you're in school and you work for someone that you adopt the tone of voice, like, yeah, it's okay. And so when you're leading an average life, when you're leading a remarkable life and you want to move people into action, you have to bring a little more power. Another option is to also bring more ease into it, okay? So if you with a girl, you can, or you making a sale, you can also go, yeah, well, let's just verify the paper. I'm excited. This is happening right now. And your whole voice communicates, of course it's happening. So that is a very important part in basic sales training. They will teach you again that model of first nonverbal, second verbal, third words that you say. Okay? And as humans, we register certainty. And people, if they feel that you're not certain, that brings in a lot of elements. Because those situations we often hear from you guys, we're very familiar with them. I used to be in a lot of those situations, but they have disappeared. Why? Because people know better when you're more certain. And the convincing starts on the inside. And really what's essential is you're still contemplating too much possible failure. And it pollutes your questions. So you must operate from a place where success is the only option. You came here to thrive with women. It may not happen in one shot. It may take a year or two, but that is the only option. You have already decided. It's not even a question anymore. And when that is more clear within you, you can silently look at a girl, and now she will feel it. She will know there is something special about the man that's speaking or even being silent. Because he's more congruent. He's no longer going, I want to, but. And remember, if it's fear, it's false. If it's fear, it's false. So only be proactive. Only be forward. Turn everything into something in the making. And be much, 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 much more affirmed. I mentioned Pure Pickup before. It was last year, Arash and I, we gathered, we said, hey, let's do a pickup event together. We named it Pure Pickup to bring the essence of pickup. I was very eager, as I always am, to see what piece Arash would bring to the picture. And what did he bring? A masterpiece on delivery. And it's interesting that his choice for Pure Pickup was delivery. So make sure that your internal communication is not ambivalent like most chicks are, and resolve and reassure and then chew on that, meaning even if you're not sure, become the kind of man that you're going to fight one cause, the one that will bring you the highest success. You're no longer ever going to defend doubt and fear and the buts and the this and the that. So gentlemen, thank you everyone. Awesome call. So much is happening. I'm seeing many of you for Pickup Academy, July 10th to the 16th. Go check out the Global SLR, gslrconvention.com, and stay on the line for just a sec, everybody. Thank you for the people who are listening to the podcast.
You've been listening to The Real Kings of Pickup with Vince Hollywood Kelvin and Arash motherfucking Dibazar. Brought to you by www.globalslr.com. Call live every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to get your questions answered. Just dial 701-801-1220. Then enter 129-779-160, followed by the pound key. To get your free Pickup Starters Kit, go to www.seductioncoaching.com now. And remember, stay sexy.